Last time I showed that an image could be reconstructed with no lens, just a piece of tape in front of a sensor. Even though the raw image looks like a mess, an image of the scene can be reconstructed using physics-based algorithms. But can we get 3D information from this type of camera? Let's dive deeper into coded apertures to figure out how, again following the Diffuser Cam paper from the Waller lab. I'll get into 3D imaging in a bit, but first I wanted to share the improvements I've made on 2D reconstructions since last time. Here's my best result of the cat from my previous video. First thing, I wanted to add color. So I simply performed the reconstruction for all 3 color channels, which took a bit of color balance work because the picamera isn't calibrated for the sensor to be fully exposed with no lens. I also improved my point spread function measurement by using a smaller, proper pinhole for the light source. This one's 200 microns, instead of a piece of construction paper that I poked a hole through. Better point spread function with more attention to ambient light meant better reconstruction results. Interpreting what led to better or worse results took some controlled experiments, which I sometimes did, but mostly I just kept trying to make things work better. Still, it was awesome to see the progress from my first result to the best result I had towards the end of this project. It's funny because when I saw this first kind of successful reconstruction to the left here, I was so excited to see anything that looked like the cat pop out of this. And now it's just a blob compared to what I was able to get at the end of the project. Pretty cool. I also tried different diffusers. Here's the point spread function of a plastic sandwich bag and the raw data. There are a couple issues here with this data set, not because it's a sandwich bag. Sandwich bags are fine for taking photos like this, but just in general, this is the kind of stuff that would go wrong in this project. First, I have unwanted light in the image of the point spread function. It's difficult to see in the saved color image, but if you look at the red channel separately and adjust the scale bar, you can see unwanted light from other light sources hitting the sensor. Obviously, this is bad for the reconstruction. The second issue is that the raw data is overexposed. If the raw image doesn't have structure, then the reconstruction isn't going to work. Luckily, you can still see the cat in the reconstruction, so there must have been enough structure in some of the color channels. On the other end of the spectrum, I got a chance to try out a high-quality diffuser thanks to Sean McElwee from Thor Labs, who was able to send one to me. The point spread function has lower caustic density compared to the tape point spread function, which typically means a longer focal length diffuser. This results in higher magnification for this diffuser. So for the same object distance, the reconstructed image looks larger. In general, I noticed that the hazy, colorful noise over the image got worse the larger the object magnification. This may be because Wiener deconvolution doesn't handle points for which the point spread function is cropped, and it doesn't optimize to fill in missing information like other regularization techniques. The cropping problem can at least be improved by moving the object back and/or making the aperture smaller. Ultimately, this is a major limitation, so I'll talk about it more a little later. With the results looking a bit nicer in color, let's finally move on to trying to capture 3D information from the scene. The first thing to realize is that the point spread function gets smaller the farther away the point source is from the camera. I collected point spread functions from around 30 different axial positions from the sensor. So now you can imagine point spread functions from any X, Y, and Z position hitting the 2D plane of the sensor and getting all mixed up. The system seems incredibly underdetermined. All the 3D information is collected onto a 2D plane. How could it ever get unmixed? To start, let's capture an image of the scene with objects at different distances. If I simply reconstruct the scene using Wiener deconvolution for each point spread function, I can focus on objects at different distances. Remember, This is all from one raw image, plus the point spread function images that needed to be collected at different axial positions. They could be thought of as calibration images saved on your camera. Even from this, we have adaptable focus from a single image. It's really similar to a light field camera. Maybe you remember Lytro released one back maybe around 15 years ago. Instead of a diffuser in front of the sensor, it's a lens array in front of the sensor. But this is one of the key features, this adaptable focus in a single image. And it is really satisfying to watch. I have another neat trick I implemented for this project to get a 3D effect. This idea was inspired by stereoscopic images that are generated by viewing the scene from slightly different perspectives. I bought one of these stereoscopic viewers patented in 1895. It's hard to capture the visual experience of this device on camera, but you can get an idea if you play the two images sequentially back to back. There were a few film cameras designed that went even further by using not 2 but 3 or 4 lenses for capturing multiple perspectives. Some people have also built their own versions using digital sensors. The resulting 3D image is sometimes called a wigglegram. You can see why. The assumption I made for the diffuser cam was that the diffuser maintains some directionality from the scene. In other words, the left side of the point spread function provides more information from a viewpoint to the left of the object. So if I digitally added some directional weight to the point spread function, then the reconstruction would provide a slightly shifted view, like moving a camera. I took one point spread function and multiplied it by 7 masks with varying weight from one side of the point spread function to the other side. And the idea worked. When you play the images back to back, you can see the object shifting, like you're changing your view. You can even see new parts of the St. Louis flag that seemed blocked by the cat. Again, this is all from a single raw image of the scene and a single point spread function image. No moving camera. Another source of inspiration for this idea was the digital iris project by the Ancient channel. I love this work, and he showed some similar wigglegram effects by aperture splitting in the video linked below. For all the work I've shown so far, I've used Wiener deconvolution for reconstruction. To improve the unmixing of 3D information, it's important to reframe the reconstruction as an optimization problem. I highly recommend Dr. Waller's lecture on this topic, linked below. I'll just mention the basic framework here, pretty abstractly, just to give some intuition. You can think of the imaging system in terms of some model A that acts on the scene, which is expressed as the vector v. That's what we want to solve for, the reconstruction of the scene. Our system makes a measurement of the scene, which is represented by the vector b. In an ideal case, if we have the perfect model of the system, A times V equals B. Another way to put it is that we're trying to find the reconstruction of the scene V that minimizes the difference between A times V and B. Some additional constraints may be put on the optimization by including what's called a regularization term that encodes what you think the solution should look like. Wiener deconvolution can be expressed this way too. A would represent the circular convolution operator, and the regularization term prevents noise from blowing up during the inversion. What's nice about Wiener deconvolution is that there's a closed form solution that makes it easy to compute the reconstruction without having to use iterative algorithms like gradient descent. If you want to get started with solving inversion problems like this with optimization techniques, the Waller Lab has open source code for you to try it out yourself. As an example, here's the dataset I collected with the Thor Labs diffuser and the original really noisy result with Wiener deconvolution. And here's the reconstruction using a linear convolution operator that considers cropped point spread functions at the edges and regularization that forces the reconstruction to have non-zero values. The hazy noise over the reconstruction is eliminated, and we have a nice black background. For 3D reconstructions, the forward operator includes point spread functions at various distances and regularization that supports sparse solutions. I tried this optimization approach for 3D imaging with data I collected, but I got mixed results with nothing I was very confident about. Maybe my scenes were too dense, or maybe my point spread functions didn't vary enough over the volume, but mostly I think it was because of my inexperience setting up optimization problems like this. I just didn't know the best way to tune the optimization and troubleshoot effectively. Just so you can see what's possible, here's a raw image from the diffuser cam paper of a resolution target tilted in front of the diffuser cam. Using point spread functions measured at different distances, they reconstructed a volume of the target. This video shows a sweep through the volume. The result has clear cross-sections of the object at each Z position, like a CT scan. And here's a maximum projection image. Pretty incredible. The 3D information is actually in this single image, and there's a way to extract it using computational methods. Well, that wraps up the 3D portion of the lensless imaging work. Special thanks to the Waller Lab and all those supporting this work on Patreon. See you next time.